Chair calls Jeffrey Morgan, who is testifying on behalf of himself for House Bill 65.
Thank you again. I appreciate this, and this will be much more concise. The second chance is a proposal to reduce what is called unnecessary divorce. This was done by William Doherty and Leah Ward Sears. She is a retired Georgia Supreme Court justice. What they found out, a summary of their findings, is that people already deeply into the divorce process, even with attorneys filing things and creating animosity, that in 40% of the cases, one or both spouses wanted to have an exit ramp, wanted to do something to say, we still think that this marriage can be saved. The problem is, it's like when you're out in the sea and the tide rolls out and you're caught in it, you get swept away, and the system tends to do that to people. Marriages that could be saved. They called these unnecessary divorces. Two of the recommendations that they had is that the waiting period be extended to 1 year. But it's not just the idea that you put time in there, but at the same time that you also have resources available to help provide quality education or some type of centers of excellence that would help give them the skills. In many instances, you'll find people divorce, not necessarily because they want to, but because they don't have the right communication skills. When no-fault divorce was first instituted, I'll get right back to this, one of the designs was to actually save families. And what they're saying is that you can reduce unnecessary divorce by extending waiting periods and by putting these measures into place. And what they've also found, too, is that in the majority of divorces, and this was from 50 to 66%, depending upon the study, the divorces occurred in couples who had average happiness and low level of conflicts in the years prior to the divorce. Just something happened where they just said, okay, we want to split our ways or whatever. And these marriages were ones that could be saved. And they also found, too, that the children in the average marriage that breaks up, those that constitute the majority of divorces, are likely to be harmed by the divorce. They do not understand why their parents divorce. High conflict divorce, that's one thing that has been mentioned. That's a whole different story. But in a lot of marriages, the high conflict isn't present, and those are the exact marriages that could be saved, and the exact marriages that cause more damage to the children down the road. So basically, their final analysis was, our results suggest that divorces with the greatest potential to harm children occur in marriages that have the greatest potential for reconciliation. Nobody is telling people to stick in marriages that they both are fighting all the time or whatever, but they're saying that we can take practical steps to help save marriage. At the same time you do this, as what other people mentioned, you will reduce financial costs to the U.S. taxpayer, because stronger marriages create stronger families, create people that have income mobility, and you have less costs as far as in social costs for whether it be food stamps or welfare or incarceration costs, because the children of these marriages are the ones that are at greater risk to develop behaviors that would cause these problems. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Any questions of Mr. Morgan, members? Not hearing any. Mr. Morgan, thank you for your testimony today and being here.